You think they're quite pleased with me for reading David this day? I think got a bit better. It's weird because in this case, you know, we're using what we currently know right now, and we're using the options inside the game to try to, you know, fall in that thing. And it's funny because the game tells you at first that it's based on real cases, modified clearly, and it's based on a real book that was written by a astrologer physicist that actually did this, and he solved cases just like this. And it's
good day to you, madam.
And
Yes.
I'm enjoying
Good day,
it.
Mr. Foreman.
I'm enjoying
Pray
it.
tell, is your
It's so
Venetian
weird.
querent Riccardo Ferrara one of the patients you treat for troubles of the mind? Forsooth, his manner is right strange. I passed him at the door, and when I addressed him in the Italian tongue, he abruptly turned from me and ran away down the street.
Oh wow.
Nay, Signor Ferrara has no grave troubles of the mind that I'm aware of. Mayhap he was merely dumbstruck by your beauty, madam.
Dr. Foreman, a man is rarely struck dumb by a woman's beauty. Indeed, 'tis quite the reverse. He is oft rendered all the more loquacious, plaguing her with ill-formed metaphors he believes are compliments, and with hasty declarations and invitations she has neither sought nor invited.
Ah, quite. But let us turn our minds to happier thoughts. I did lately hear of your marriage to your cousin, Mr. Alfonso Lania, for which I must congratulate you.
Oh no.
And as I recall, you were with child when I last saw you.
I was, as you correctly judged.
Yeah.
And your child and husband are both well, I hope?
I would rather not discourse on the subject of my husband, Dr. Foreman.
As it
Okay.
pleases you, madam. What brings you this day?
Lately I have been feeling heavy and lethargic. I do also find it hard to fix my attention upon the book I am reading or upon words I am composing. And yet, although I often feel right tired, I am having difficulty sleeping.
Ah, well, becoming a mother, beset with all the demands of a suckling babe, can force change upon the normal rhythms of life.
Nay, 'tis not that, for I have employed a wet nurse for the feeding and much of the care of my son. Methinks I must have some kind of disease.
I
That sounds
see.
like insomnia or something like that.
Let us consult the stars to see what afflicts you. What is ailing Mistress Amelia Lania?
Ooh. Let's see the stars. Okay. I feel heavy and lethargic. I cannot sleep. Well, okay. So with Virgo, ruler of the digestive system, we have Mars, represents an imbalance of the yellow bile in the body, and we have the Sun, which suggests that the illness is chronic. The querent is troubled with excessively choleric temperament. It is associated with an excess of yellow bile, suffering exhibits an aggressive, opinionated nature. That's not it. Libra, ruler of the kidneys. Venus domicile in Libra. That indicates the illness will get worse before it gets better. And Mercury suggests a psychological factor. From phlegmatism. It is a temperament associated with an excess of phlegm, characterized by stoicism and stubbornness. Then we have Leo, ruler of the heart. From melancholy, being an excess of black bile, that suggests the illness is curable, and Saturn in detriment of Leo suggests the mild imbalance of black bile in the body. Now, I believe phlegmatism. Yeah, phlegmatism, let's go. It is Libra! Because she's kind of a bitch. But here we go.
You are suffering from phlegmatism, madam. To treat it, I will give you syrup of safflower to be taken each morning when you break fast.
What is phlegmatism, Dr. Foreman?
Well, simply put, 'tis an excess of phlegm. This can be provoked by a stubborn temperament and a willful resistance to change. 'Tis sometimes experienced by lately wedded women such as yourself, who do not easily adjust to married life.
I see. So, if I am to understand your judgment, Dr. Foreman, if only I were to offer less resistance to, indeed, If I were to accommodate my husband's profligacy and drunkenness, then I would be cured of my condition.
Well, not precisely. If you will allow me to...
But is that not a logical extension of your judgment, Dr. Foreman?
I
If
fucked
you will
up.
forgive me for saying so, madam, you are displaying a degree of recalcitrance at this moment which only serves to confirm my...
Dr. Foreman, methinks I should prefer to forever remain a phlegmatic woman than hear any further from you this day, sir.
There we go.
I will bid you good day.
Oh no. I advise a claim that she is struggle with excess phlegm because she has stubbornness. And there goes my recommendation. And okay, so I think that's like the first part of the mail, you know. So it's kind of like chapters, and you have something in between that breaks out. So we have the order of the physician. So now we see mail. So I thank you for your recent inquiry with regards to obtaining a license to practice medicine. I note from our records that you terminated your enrollment at our institution some years ago on the grounds of insufficient funds. Whilst we do not ordinarily issue medical license to men who have not first completed a medical degree, proof of equivalent professional experience in the forms of letters of recommendations may be taken into consideration. A minimum of 8 such letters of recommendations is customarily required. I advise you to write us once again you have obtained the requisite numbers of letters. John Caldwell, Vice Chancellor of the University of Cambridge. So we need 8. Okay. So that was short.
Ah, my dear Avis, what a pleasure it is to see you. I have oft thought of our last...
Cannot tarry long. My husband will be expecting me home.
Of course. But, dear lady, is something the matter?
Of course. Do not all your querents come with a matter they wish an answer to?
Always.
Well, yes, but...
I wish to ask of the stars whether a man I am close with, a man who is not my husband, whether that man be also close with another woman.
A man you are. I see. If I am to judge the stars for you, I must ask you to be more precise. In what sense do you mean close? The platonic bond of friendship?
Nay, close in the sense of being intimate.
I see. Then 'tis the familial tie of kinship, perchance.
Nay, I mean someone with whom I have shared physical relations.
Verily, madam, if I am to give you an accurate
Oh my
reading,
God.
I must state your question clearly.
Methinks you know full well what I ask. I bid you ask the stars whether my lover is, just to say, be it true that he engages with another woman in acts of strumpy-humpy.
Acts of strumpy
You
humpy.
astonish me. 'Tis unlike you to speak such indelicate words.
Strumpy humpy.
If I understand you correctly, you have a lover, and you wish to know whether he has been sharing his tender favors with another woman.
Aye, but did I not verily say so?
And now that we have at last fathomed your question, let us read the stars to fathom an answer. Has Mistress Allen's lover been unfaithful to her?
But she's been unfaithful because she has a lover. What the fuck is this shit? Okay. Mr. Allen loves seeing a woman who is willing and able to marry, who wishes to continue his family line, house of legacy. Okay. Mr. Allen's no longer pleased as low, his spark has been lost. Moon in detriment in Capricorn. This represents a woman who is unable to please Avis. The Sun represents a mature man. Creativity has been reversed. Laura wishes to father a child. Okay. The consultation provoked unexpected intimacy between me and Aries. Okay. Mr. Allen should be more optimistic about her romance with this man. Mrs. Allen's mind has been turned by jealousy and confusion. Saturn in detriment and retrograde suggests jealousy, and Neptune in retrograde indicates a mind turned by confusion. Okay, so I can get the booty call or say that since she won't have a child, she's a horrible person. But she was pregnant before, so I think let's go with this.
stars are most clear, madam. Your lover has not been coupling with another woman.
There we go.
He has not.
Forsooth, the stars say that your mind has been turned by jealousy and confusion. Now, if there is nothing further, madam...
Oh, how relieved I am to hear you say this. Oh, Simon, what a fool I have been not to trust you.
Oh, there we go.
This lover, 'twas me all along? You were not speaking of some other man?
No.
I beseech you, pardon me, Simon. I had to know the truth from the stars. For I did hear tell of other women.
But how could you not see? No other woman is to me so dear and family.
Oh no.
Is it not clear to you that I...
Do you verily, Simon?
Oh, my dear, sweet ladies.
And here we go, another Strumpy Humpy. Coitus post consulte. Ah, goddammit. Okay. We got by 5 points, really? Ah, goddammit. And we turn the page.
Good morrow, madam. I humbly welcome
She
you
has
to
a
my
monkey.
consulting chambers, and thank you for choosing my practice. Mistress...
Fortescue, Mistress Sybil Fortescue.
Well then, Mistress Fortescue.
The
what
monkey
may I
has a
assist you
neck
with
brace.
this day?
I come upon a most troubling matter, sir. I know not whether it is a medical matter or something else.
I see. Pray describe your trouble to me, madam.
Well, I suppose it all began with a dinner I hosted at my house last even. Mayhap you have heard of my dinners, Dr. Foreman. They are much talked about. Though I fear last evening's dinner will be talked about for all the wrong reasons.
Talked about, you say?
Yes.
Does the
Indeed,
monkey have a
invitations
wine?
to my dinners are much sought after, for I host the most desirable of
Oh, no,
guests.
that's her necklace,
Lords,
and the-
bishops, poets, explorers, painters, and the like. Why, last eve I hosted the famous Robert Lord Devereux, the playwright William Shakespeare, and the Bishop of London and his wife. As well as fascinating conversation, at my table, I served the very latest and most original dishes. Last even, I served an exotic green vegetable called a potato. So crisp and refreshing.
Potato.
My dear husband sent them home to me from the New World.
Potato.
Doubtless you have heard of my husband, Captain Fortescue. He is a great friend of Sir Walter Raleigh.
Oh,
See,
Walter Raleigh.
Your dinners
Ah.
do sound most excellent, Mistress Fortescue. But what occurred at last eve's dinner that has you so distressed?
Well, in truth, it was
Potato.
after dinner. We all felt a strong desire to take some air, and so we left the table to take a turn in some pleasure gardens nearby. But then, as we were walking along the path, right in the middle of the gardens, in full public view,
Pray do not distress yourself, madam. Prithee, take your time.
my guests and I were, all of a sudden, stricken with pain. We began chundering and voiding from our... But there was nowhere to turn, you see. There were no bushes close by to shield our modesty. It was
Oh,
unspeakable.
A
diarrhea.
moment, madam, as I note this down. Abdominal pain and simultaneous upward and downward purging of a most
Upward and
sudden
downward
and
purging.
violent nature. Now, let us see how these stars explain this most distressing and unsavory event. What troubled Mistress Sybil Fortescue and her guests last eve?
Okay. Mistress Forma is troubled with wandering hands, neurosis, and chronic. Wandering, it's not wandering hands, it's just food poisoning. The chili has taken a chili cold. With evil digestion, yes. It is evil digestion.
Madam, I think
Wandering
you said the
hands.
vegetables you dined upon were green in color, did you not?
Oh, they were moldy.
You described them as crisp and refreshing, I think. I take it then that you served them to your guests green and raw?
Yes, indeed. Most of the potatoes my husband sent me were full dull and unhealthsome in appearance. Hence I served only the green ones. I had my cook cut them in such a way as to resemble roses. 'Tis the way I
There we
oft
go.
serve my apples.
Ah, then your trouble was a severe case of evil digestion.
Evil
I have read
digestion.
that these vegetables can be noxious if they turn green.
Oh, my days! Do you mean I poisoned my guests?
In a manner of speaking, aye. But worry not, madam, for the suffering was but temporary. Indeed, it does sound as if the bodies of your guests were most comprehensively purged of the poison. However,
Exactly.
in future, be sure to cook the potatoes until they are soft, and pray do not eat the ones that have turned green.
As God shall mend me. What a shameful affair this has been.
Okay.
I shall go home and, well, I shall write to my husband and ask that he includes cooking instructions with the next gift of food that he sends me. I thank ye and bid ye good day, Dr. Foreman.
The Wandering Hand. What the fuck? Holy shit, she is just, wow. Potatoes and evil digestion, just, you know. Okay. The one that's gonna give me trouble and probably make me not get my letter of recommendation.
Good even, Miss Lanier. What
What
brings
brings
you?
you?
I am come about my future, Dr. Foreman. I wish to know whether I will find success as a writer of poems and plays. You can predict futures, can you not?
You, madam? A writer of poems?
Oh, no, don't
and
start.
of plays? Forsooth, how verily remarkable.
Please don't.
Well, 'tis true most of us Basanos and Laniers are musicians, but I have chosen a different path. I've lately begun a collaboration with a poet and playwright. Let us call him Mr. S.
Mr.
He is presently
Shakespeare.
writing a play that takes place in northern Italy, and as I am of
Monclo,
Italian heritage,
signo,
he
please.
has asked me to help him write it.
How
Don't forget about
interesting.
that. El
And
signo,
does
el
this
signo.
collaboration betwixt you go well?
Right well, or so methinks. Indeed, Mr. S did suggest that I am full talented as a writer. Be not afraid of greatness, he told me.
No, it's
For once our
it's
play
Hamlet, I
opens
think.
On the London stage, our success will follow, as night
Oh,
follows day.
I see.
I think that was Hamlet.
Then what would you have me ask the stars, madam?
Well, I've noted that
The
Mr.
Mr.
S,
Shakespeare.
although a brilliant man, is oft prone to exaggerated melodrama and implausible plot resolutions. I wish to know whether this story of
Monclo,
his, of
el
our
signo. That's all you
future
gotta do,
success
dude.
is
Just write it
Very
down. No,
wise of
no.
you, madam.
El
Then
emote
let us
está
see
bien
whether your
pequeño. No se
success
ve.
or failure is writ in the stars.
El Sagitario.
Mistress Amelia Lanier,
¿Tú quieres el
found fame
Sagitario?
and fortune as a writer.
Ok. So, vamos por parte, vamos por parte. Que no se ve bien, dude. ¿Sabes? Se ve. Yo pensé que estaba presentando como que un cowboy moment ahí. If I'm not mistaken, the base concept of Hamlet was the two houses in Italy, if I'm not mistaken. Because the other one would be, it is the start, and Romeo and Juliet is the two houses too. They're all based almost on the same thing. So, now that just, I'm sure that if this is the theory that originally started, is that Hamlet, and there was another one that he did, that apparently wasn't written by Shakespeare. It was mostly a written and shared common artist name, and that's one of the theory that people have, that Hamlet and and Caesar are based on other people writing it, and he just putting his name on it, so he takes full credit for it. But since it's time for a Willy Mercado reading, as we're playing Astrologaster, it makes sense to do a little transition and BRB to transform into Willy Mercado. So give me just a sec. Sagitario, el arquero, el símbolo de fuego. Hoy te han dado muchas noticias similares rápidamente de crecimiento, de muchos ingresos y muchas cosas que puedes ganar. Pero hay que tener cuidado, porque no todo es tan fácil como se ve. Eso requiere que hagas un poquito de trabajo y de estudio de ti mismo para poder entender si de verdad dicha acción es fácil. Tienes que a veces pensarlo bien, No todo se puede resolver diciendo sí a lo primero. Tienes que cogerlo con calma. Y así con calma que lo coges, vas a poder tomar la mejor decisión para seguir creciendo. A veces, no todo lo que hay que crecer es nada más el dinero y lo físico. También tienes que crecer tu corazón y el amor que tienes hacia los demás. Ahora podemos decir que tú vas a tomar tu arco, vas a preparar tu flecha y asimismo vas a prepararte para el futuro, para disparar y caer en el bullseye, en el círculo donde debería caer el golpe para poder darte. Pero ya sabes, todo esto lo tienes que coger con calma y pensarlo bien, porque todo nada más se puede hacer si tienes mucho, mucho amor. Let's see if she should work with Mr. S. Mr. Simon will be more sensitive in need of her shot. No, that's a no. Then Mr. Lamenting's optimism and her ambition will be there, as not only she is successful in her work will lead to transformative surprising political changes, and her writing part work well together. Yes, they do. The house wants of a legacy marred by deceit and jealousy. No. And indulging creative thus. Ooh, wait. This speaks of Mr. S indulging in creative theft. He does. Well, he will still, but let's go with A.
It would seem Mr. S's confidence is not misplaced. For the stars foretell that if you have faith in your success, you will succeed. And your contribution to the world will reach beyond literature to be of great benefit to society.
Yes,
So,
it does.
In order to succeed, I must hold fast to a belief that I will succeed.
Yes.
So, madam.
But what you are asking of me is right illogical, Dr. Foreman.
Aye.
Indeed, 'tis an impossibility. How can I maintain a belief that my success is inevitable when you have just informed me that my success is conditional and contingent? As Aristotle teaches us in
Mistress
his...
Lanier, mayhap I have confounded you with the nuances of my astrological reading. All you need know is that the achievement of your goals is very likely. Indeed, 'tis indicated that your collaboration with Mr. S will be a fruitful one. Prithee, madam, look not for bad news among the good.
Aye, mayhap 'tis best I not overthink it, as you say. I thank ye, sir.
Overthinking the worst. Okay. The Queen didn't wish to know. Football might be a success. It was, and doesn't get anything. How would Euclid have solved this conundrum? How futile
Day
is...
to you, sir.
Good day to you, madam. What service may I perform for you this day?
For me? None. None at all.
Okay.
Verily. Then I cannot fathom why you...
It was my husband who bade me come, for he finds it difficult to speak of. As I say, he
Okay.
had me come in his stead, and I could think of no reason to give him for why I should not come.
I see.
Well, it's troubling your
What is troubling
husband.
your husband? Madam, I cannot treat a querent without knowing first what his troubles are.
He is unable to perform his marital duties.
Okay.
I see. And whatever does that mean? Your husband forgets to put out the night soil? Some broken shelving he has neglected to fix?
No.
Prithee, madam, I bid you be more precise.
Ah, you know perfectly well what I mean, Simon. I bid you not drag this out any longer. Pray read the stars and let us get this over with.
As you wish, madam. Now, let us see. What ails Mr. Allen so as to render him unable to perform his marital obligations towards Mistress Allen?
Come on, stars. Tell me what it is. Okay. Sagittarius, ruler of the hips. So yes, temporarily. Mr. Allen suffers from a crick in the back. It is causing him pain in the hips and making it difficult to perform duties around the house. Aries, ruler of the head. Uranus in retrograde. This suggests a mild enchantment cast by a witch. This suggests a deficiency of blood, and Pluto in retrograde illness gets worse before it gets better. Suffer from loss of carnal lust. And then we have Leo, ruler of the heart. Saturn in detriment in Leo suggests a mild imbalance of black bile in the body. The Sun domicile in Leo suggests that the illness will be long-lasting. And Neptune suggests a disturbing of the mind. Mr. Allen suffers from cold in the heart. No, it is a loss of carnal lust. There we go.
Your husband is suffering from a lack of sanguinity in the brain, which has resulted in a loss of carnal lust. According to my chart, there is
little hope of remedy.
Verily, no hope at all.
Nay, I'm afeard not.
Oh, then Mr. Allen is not, cannot be a full husband to me. At least not in the full, true sense of being a husband.
Precisely so. And as a physician, it behoves me to observe how unnatural and lamentable it is that a wife be so neglected.
Oh my god.
Oh, Simon.
Oh, my darling Avis.
And coitus pois consultae, claro. The query did come on behalf of her husband, who appears does not suffer from dysfunction of the privy member. I judge Miss Allen is suffering from loss of carnal lust, and this could be remedied. This my own was not entirely true. Methinks the query is most pleased with me reading the coin. Hey, a letter of recommendation. Akryen will for another consultation. Okay. Okay. So, oh, I thought they finished. Okay, but love and war, all's fair.
Last even, 'twas like a dream. Never in my life have I felt so. Oh, my sweet Avis, 'tis true
Okay.
you are married, but surely a love as great as ours can transcend such earthly impediments. Dare I hope for? Nay, 'tis most unlikely. Or is it? Forsooth, there be no harm in asking this.
Why do we always ask this to us?
Might Avis Allen one day be mine?
Okay. Will Avis and I ever be wed? I not seeing things clearly. If I knew the truth about our relationship, I would personally be seen with jealousy. There's jealousy because Saturn is detrimented in Leo. Sun domicile in Leo represents the truth and the confusion. Avis is currently hiding a secret from me. Virgo. Okay. Avis has betrayed her marriage vows. The damage of this wrought upon her marriage cannot be undone, and her past cannot be erased. I may be optimistic for Mr. Allen will suffer ill luck and die. I was will they're free to marry me. Wow. Avis Loyalty lies with her family. Sure, let's go with that. He'll die and...
Says Avis is one day to be widowed, which will, of course, be very tragical. But after the grieving is done, we will marry. She will be Mistress Foreman. Mistress Avis Foreman.
I just Mr. Allen would one day die, leaving us free to marry me.